Hi there, welcome to the Gersnet post-match comment show. I'm joined here with Alex Anderson again. You've probably seen us before the game, enjoying a few pints. That's probably where the enjoyment ended because it was a bit of a hard slog watching that. It was a hard slog. Good result, Rangers won, Livingston 0. But one of those nights where it's just get the job done and get the 3 points. And they got their but it was a hard slog. And the starting 11, I think, sort of suggested that would be the case.
Yes, and I think, I was saying to you before there, Colin, I think we are going to be sending James Bisgrove in a wee claim for all the pints we bought and Sloan's before. It just wore off by about half time. It was quite tense, but I think it's ultimately become one of those nights where you look back on it and you're thinking that's the kind of night where you win the league. You know, I mean, not tempting any fate. It's one of those games, and I think even just like getting the goal in 75 minutes after a bit of a grind, just it shows a determination, it shows a kind of focus. And yeah, I think you and I were both saying in Sloan's before the game that young Alec Lowry should absolutely start, or there'll be repercussions. Maybe something like that, I don't know, something like that. But it was a surprise, a bit of a surprise to see him starting, and I think the young man proved himself. He really rose to the task in the kind of number 10 position, filling in for Yanis Hadji, I suppose, or maybe even Joe Rebo, he's filling in for. But a whole front four there missing tonight, if you like, and I think at the end up to get the result was the main thing, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, as I say, when you look at the starting 11 and the opposition, the kind of night it was. One thing I will say, it was actually raining in the Govan Rear the night. That's how I was getting wet.
Main stand too, soaked.
Yeah, so it was that kind of night. But we got there. I mean, the sort of negative side of it, let's look at stuff that didn't go so well. I think people like, Big E10 and Scott Wright probably didn't do a lot tonight in terms of putting in a claim to get more game time. Yeah,
and I think it's a bit harsh as well. I mean, they didn't have the greatest of games. I think, as we were saying before, Scott Wright definitely kind of fell away in the second half. Well, ironically, he was actually doing quite well at times. He was getting himself into space, but then he was making decisions, really bad decisions, which spoke of a guy whose nerves are just going to go on a bit.
And the crowd were
getting on
a wee bit as well, and then that impacts on your decision making.
And I think if you want to bring in one or two kind of fringe players, or maybe second string squad players, you want to bring them into the team. That's fine, but it's kind of unfair to judge them when we're basically missing Ken, Aribo, Morales. They're not coming into it. There's a lot of players that are starting tonight that wouldn't normally start. And I think, all in all, I'm really proud of the way they've actually knuckled down and kicked at it when the crowd was starting to get to them.
Yeah.
And I think Gio as well has timed his substitutions to perfection.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's a massive 3 points.
Before we go into the substitutions, Big said the Ted as well. Leading the line, it was a sort of 4-2-3-1, and he was sort of the lone striker.
Yeah.
Didn't really work for him, I don't think. I wouldn't want to be too heavy on him.
No.
I was questioning at times why we needed two sort of holding midfielders, but again, there's that thing of this was his chance to put a sort of a stake in terms of I need more game time. I deserve more game time, and I don't think he quite done enough tonight.
Again, it's harsh because he's not had the game time in Germany, for 6 months basically. Over the latter few months, he's not been getting the game time for Greuther Fürth, and then he's come in. He's only had a game against Stirling Albion. With all due respect, they're almost non-league if they keep heading down the way. So it's not the best kind of way of getting up to match fitness. And this is only his second game back. He was coming a bit deep. He was getting deeper and deeper, but he's coming to get the ball as well, and he's showing. Same as Sakala. I think Sakala was coming too deep first half as well. Just generally summing up the fact that we weren't getting there. Alec Lowry, he was the boy he was opening things up. He was putting the ball across at the front of goals a few times and embarrassing a few of the more senior players because the likes of Keaton and Sakala weren't there to put it away. But no, I think we're going to look back in this game and you maybe think to yourself, Gio's going with the sitting two midfielders again, and you're maybe going to think Ryan Jack come on to replace Sands to go alongside Kamara, but it didn't actually happen like that. There was just that few minutes where it was Glenn Kamara on his own when Arfield come on, and we saw Sargent, the American, doing a wee kind of similar type of goal where they kind of crazy back heel thing for Norwich City against Watford the other night in the telly, and we know that Scott likes it.
Was it a patch on Arfield?
He likes a bit of Canada against the USA, so he
I
was slinky, sexy, just a beautiful finish. It was lovely.
We need to speak about the goal, because I mean, as most people know who watch the show and who listen to the pod, you know, I love Scotty Arfield, and I think, you know, I think the finish shows just how good a player he is. You know, the intelligence to know that the power's on the cross, and he just needs to. I mean, he just sort of. I'm going to try and do it now, but I can't, because I can't get a leg up that high enough. But he just outside of the foot, just sort of almost just like lifts it over the keeper and into the back corner.
You're basically hitting the front post, and you're lobbing the keeper to his back post with a back heel. You know, back heel come volley. You know, pirouette style stuff. And we were talking about, I didn't know if Scotty Arfield was going to have the fitness to start the game tonight, you know, and do his bombing on, and he hasn't started it, but he's come on and he's won it with a bit of absolute genius. It's just proving what a Rangers legend is.
Yes, he's getting there.
He's legendary stuff, mate.
He's absolutely getting there. Final point, good to see Ryan Jack coming on, as you mentioned earlier on. You know, lovely. He's had so many sort of comings and goes in terms of coming back and out again. You're hoping that this time that this is him, and he'll be there for the sort of the run in.
I think by the looks of things, if he does, it's bad news for James Sands. We're friends across the city are always talking conspiracies.
It's bad news for Ange as well.
Yes, well that's it. We're friends across the city always talking conspiracies, and I think the biggest conspiracy is going to be how come Ryan Jack can have like 6 months to 18 months out and just hit the ground running the way he does. He come back and he looked like never been away. You know, the touches were lovely, some of the stuff was sublime. You know, if he can just keep going, get his match fitness up, it's bad news for Ange.
So a good night overall. I mean, it was a hard watch at time, but we got there, got the 3 points. So it's onwards and upwards to Dingwall. We'll be back on Friday night with a preview show for that game against Ross County. We'll have the flagship show on Sunday. So join us then. We are the people. Bye for now.